Welcome back to Championship Court. It's the women's turn in the quarterfinals. The 5 seed Shelby Bates will be taking on the 4 seed Judith Castillo. Bates, 33 years old, from Jupiter, Florida. She has made flashes of runs, Chad. She made it into the quarters in Newport Beach in the last tournament of last year. What should we expect to see in this matchup between Bates and Castillo?
Well, it's all going to come down to errors, and more so on the Bates side than the Castillo side. Judith Castillo is very consistent, covers the ball, covers the court exceptionally well. Likes to hit from both sides on the run, but you talked about flashes with Bates, and she has some big power on the forehand side. But typically, where we see Bates struggle a little bit is going for a little too much, trying to put a little bit more pressure on, makes a couple of errors, and then it kind of continues to snowball from there. So if Bates can clean up some of the errors and put a little bit more pressure on Castillo, this will be an interesting matchup.
Castillo, originally from Spain, was living in Natchitoches, Louisiana after completing her collegiate tennis career at Northwestern State. Now in Dallas, 26 years old, she has had success on the APP Tour, a handful of gold medals in women's singles, but tapered off a little bit towards the end of last season. Castillo and Bates coming up next in the women's singles quarterfinal.
People play pickleball for exercise, competition, or to hang out with friends. What your reason is doesn't matter to Gamma. What matters is that you play, that you enjoy playing with passion, and you have so much fun you can't wait to play again. At Gamma, we offer paddles perfect for all levels, including yours, because pickleball is about you, the player, and what feels right. Pickleball is your game. Make Gamma your paddle. Play to live, live to play. Gamma Pickleball.
When my hearing changed, Hearing Life understood. I don't just want to keep hearing my friends. I want to keep being me.
Book a complimentary hearing assessment with one of our hearing professionals and see how our personalized care can help you keep being you. Love your ears at Hearing Life.
When I have pain from arthritis, I grab BioFreeze. Unlike Voltaren, BioFreeze provides fast-acting relief. I can apply it to more areas of my body, and it's NSAID-free. Cool the pain, so I can get back on the court.
Hey, I'm Chef Chad Rosenthal, and I'm here today with Vlasic Pickles to put the pickle in pickleball. In pickleball, a dill ball is a shot that is inbounds and is bounced only once. It's a live ball. This Vlasic Pickle Dip is a live ball of pickle flavor. Crunchy pickle perfection.
Hi. Welcome back to Championship Court. Shelby Bates showing off. Got the sunglasses, giving everyone the little wave as we get set for our women's singles quarterfinal. The 5 seed Bates topping Maria Kuklotsky in her round of 16 matchup. That was 3. Bates has gone to 3 in each of her previous 2 matches. She got past Kuklotsky, dropped the first game of 14-16 before taking the next 2, 16-14, 15-13. Meanwhile, Castillo has just gone the minimum in each of her 2 matches. She took down Aaliyah Brown in her round of 16, 12, and 11. As Castillo in the white shirt will serve first at the top of your screen here to start our women's singles quarters. A forehand error from Bates. The first point goes to Castillo.
Yeah, and again, I'll just reiterate that the errors are going to be the difference maker here in this one.
Right idea from Castillo, but it sails long, 1-all. When you have a player like Bates who can be error prone at times, if you're Castillo, how do you go about setting up the points?
Just honestly force her to hit one more ball. keep putting the pressure on just by getting balls back, moving her around, force Bates to try to go for more. And that's where Bates needs to kind of stay a little bit more compact, not go for as much, and almost take the same approach as Castillo. So those type of errors there, it's not really that's an unforced error where Bates is just moving up, hitting that into the net.
3-1 in favor of Castillo. Missed return 4-1 now. The returns plaguing the women as much as the men.
Well, and Bates can't let the frustration build in her game either. You know, if we make a mistake, move on, kind of make that quick adjustment. That's an excellent angle.
Nice placement. The roll on that shot was perfection.
Yeah, very good angle there from Bates. Just drops the paddle head down. Nice roll. Doesn't overhit it. Doesn't try to go for too much power.
Forces the missed return from Castillo. Bates back within one. Castillo back in front by 2.
Yeah, good deep return there from Castillo to the backhand side.
Castillo won the first tournament of the 2024 season in Punta Gorda. Bates had the whole court, just pushed it wide.
It's a good setup there from Bates, but yeah, again, just trying to go a little too fine. Put that on the line, ends up pushing it wide. You know,
better initial return, and that allowed Bates to set up the rest of the point.
well, the depth and what we're seeing on the Castillo side there, and we saw it in men's singles, and Hayworth was vocal about it as well. Seems to be a little less room on the LED board side. So if you can get those deeper balls there, kind of push your opponent back to up against those boards. Nice angle.
Well played by Bates. We're tied at 6.
That's a good sequence there from Bates. Deep balls. Castillo trying to anticipate where Bates was going to go with it. Just a nice, easy angle. Oh,
Miss hit from Castillo pays dividends.
I honestly thought that Bates had a winner there, and Castillo gets to it and then goes on the offensive.
Oh, Bates with the foot speed to get there.
Yeah, I mean, that's good touch there from Castillo. I didn't think, I thought Bates was going to be able to get there, but not do a whole lot with it. And just a nice flick. Cross-court on the forehand, just out of reach of Castillo.
Bates is another player that put a lot of emphasis on her fitness last year. Castillo couldn't come up with a forehand winner, and Bates has her first lead of the game. Bates continuing to pepper the baseline.
Yeah, again, it's all about the depth there from Bates.
So then
Castillo's hasn't been able to really play from the baseline or inside the baseline to put that pressure on. So what is it Castillo has to do to take it?
You knew it was coming.
A little bit of frustration there for Castillo. We get a timeout.
Bates out to her largest lead of the match. It's 10-7 in favor of the 5-seed. A timeout taken from Castillo. And you mentioned the frustration. How does she reel it back in here?
Well, right now it looks like Castillo plays with a little bit more height in her ground strokes. And like I talked about previously, I think there's a little bit of wind on the grounds, and Castillo seems to be hitting into it right now. So those higher balls are kind of high, hanging up a little bit, so she's not getting the depth on Bates and allowing Bates to really step up and put some pressure on. I'd probably look for Castillo to hit a little bit more of a flatter ball. Try to find some depth, if anything, even slice a little bit as well to keep it down through that wind. But I would say probably this return here is go wide forehand to open up the backhand of Bates.
Oh. Net cord in favor of Castillo, snaps a 3-point run.
A good read here from Castillo, and then a little bit extra love off the net cord there. Triple bounce on top.
You can't shave it any closer than that. It's Castillo back on serve, 8-10.
Ooh, good leave there from Bates.
You could see what Castillo was trying to do with the backhand, but the angle at which she tried to cut it sent that ball sailing long.
Yeah, that's
nice
good
placement.
So you see the difference there. Bates's ball didn't get as deep. Castillo was able to step up, take that inside the baseline, so it takes away the reaction time and the court coverage of Bates. And it also allows Castillo to hit that ball on the rise, which comes out a little bit flatter and deeper.
Ooh. Swinging volley winner from Bates. It's a 3-point lead.
A little bit of a miss hit there from Castillo on this backhand. Trying to create the angle. Obviously didn't want to pop it up, but a good move from Bates to step up, take that ball out of the air.
What a shot from Castillo. Bates still looking. She can't believe it was in.
Deepest part of the court right there. Castillo on the run. Bates didn't go as hard on that overhead.
She hit a great angle, but Castillo just made a great play tracking it down.
Yeah, it's too good.
Beautiful touch from Castillo, and she's back within one.
You see how early Castillo takes this volley. She can see the paddle out in front of her. She creates the angle with the paddle already, sets it, and then just punches through it. She's not trying to break the wrist.
Bates hits the deck as the ball sails wide. It's knotted up at 12. The first time we've been tied since 7-0.
I didn't even see what happened on that one. We got the fence in front of us.
It's a 3-point run for Castillo here in game number 1 between Shelby Bates and Judith Castillo. Another miss hit from Castillo as Bates back in front.
Excellent pickup from Bates there in the middle of that point.
What do you like about the way Bates has come out in this game?
She's much more composed, not going for those high-risk shots.
Forehand error, 13-all.
Just caught that one a little deep. It was almost level with the hip there, so it came out flatter. Bates getting a little... Yeah, the LED board is flashing up there behind Castillo. Looked like a little distraction. Bates was saying it's distraction.
They've turned the LED board off. Castillo on serve, 13-all in the late stages of Game 1 in our women's singles quarterfinal.
Oh, that ball looked deep.
Bates pushes it wide after a long exchange. Castillo earns game point.
Yeah, I think Castillo was very friendly there in the middle of that point, but good pressure again from her.
Castillo erased a late 3-point deficit as the 4 seed takes game number 1, 15-13. Game 2 still ahead here at the Humana APP Fort Lauderdale Open.
Everyone knows standing still doesn't get you where you want to go. It's all about movement and progression, power, strength, innovation, expertise. On the court, off the court, and on the way to the court, you have to expect more out of yourself. And you should expect more of the company who makes your tires. Getting you more miles, traction, and safety is why we get up in the morning. Let's drive forward. Expect more. Fortune Tires.
Less is more. Less is less beer.
Fat tire.
Welcome back to game number 2 here in our women's singles quarterfinal. Judith Castillo erased a late 3-point deficit to take game number 1, 15-13. It will be Bates on serve, the 5 seed starting game 2.
Oh, that's an excellent backhand there from Bates. Just slaps it down the line. You saw how flat it was. A little bit of tail away from Castillo there as well.
Bates had the opportunity to take game number 1, and it was a combination of some self-inflicted errors and a couple of really quality plays from Castillo that turned the tide. Pushed it long, 1-all. Nice deep ball there from Bates, and that's the recipe that yielded success for her early on in game number 1. Missed forehand, knotted up at 2.
Yeah, so Bates just signaled that she got a little jammed up there. Elbow a little tight to the body.
Missed return, pushes Castillo in front.
Well, again, Bates tried to slap the forehand there like she had slapped the backhand down the line. The issue with that is it has to be absolutely perfect because you're hitting that flatter ball.
Castillo not able to make the shot. A point for Bates. As we trade service sides here in game number 2. Smart placement there from Bates.
Yeah, and it's a good double up there down the line from Bates to kind of pinch Castillo there on the forehand side and then opens up the sharp angle to the backhand.
Castillo returning the favor.
Well, a better job there from Castillo as well. Again, stepping up inside the baseline, taking that ball early so then she can create the little bit of scramble there for Bates.
Missed return, Castillo in front.
Bates trying to take that on the half volley.
Smart from Castillo and avoids the kitchen for the point.
Little mini Ernie there for Castillo.
Largest lead of game number 2 for Castillo, 6-4 on serve. Misdirection as she goes back behind Bates.
Well, and Castillo now is consistently able to get inside that baseline. Where Bates has had the success is when she's pushed Castillo back and Castillo's kind of playing from a foot, 2 feet behind the baseline there. She's not able to really put any pressure on Bates, but Castillo able to find a way that she's able to get inside, take that ball a little bit earlier.
Timeout taken on court by Bates as Castillo has opened up a 3-point lead in game number 2 after taking game 1 15-13. The crowd filling in here on Championship Court. This is the inaugural tournament here at the Fourth, a brand new facility for the Association of Pickleball Players. Judd, what's your takeaway from the new grounds?
Well, I'm just looking at the turf steps over there. I like these sunken courts. Seen a few of them around the U.S. and it gives you that lawn feeling where you're just you're,
the Wimbledon feeling.
Yeah, you're out enjoying the sun.
Listen, anytime you want to bring strawberries and cream to a broadcast, I'm here for it.
Oh, I'm down.
Just turn it into a regular afternoon tea.
Yeah, it's a good ball there from Bates, and I think that's the only way where the Bates is really going to be able to put some pressure on Castillo right now is to, again, hit that little bit flatter ball, push it through the wind a little bit.
Push that wide there, another point for Castillo.
The downside is it's a little bit more high risk.
If you're Bates, are you at the point where you have to start taking more risks?
Yes. Ooh.
Missed forehand from Castillo. She's been much cleaner here in game number 2 prior to that error.
Having some issues with the LED boards here. We've got the scoreboards are kind of staticky right now as well. Castillo just asking if that screen can be turned off.
Bates on serve, trailing by 2 here in game number 2. Missed serve, going for the larger serve, taking more risks, as you said she should. Pushes it back out to a 3-point Castillo advantage. Castillo. Well constructed, getting Bates on the run for the easy put away.
Yeah, again, able to take the ball early, gets Bates on the run, and just a nice little touch volley there from Castillo.
3 medals on tour last year for Castillo, a pair of golds, Punta Gorda and in Delray Beach, picked up a bronze in Sacramento.
Ooh,
oh, what a pass.
that's pretty.
That just shaved the net.
Really compact with this swing. This accelerates through contact. Perfect shape. Whoa, a little
Miss
mishit
from Castillo. This is the edge of the paddle.
You know, Bates has relatively easy power. She's not having to swing big, not having to really go for much, and that ball's kind of just jumping off the paddle.
The risk reward as that sails wide is that with easy power, you can have a tendency to overhit.
Well, and that one right there, it was just a slight hesitation from Bates coming forward, so she actually ran herself into a bad hop.
Castillo still holding on to the 5-point lead. Largest lead of the match. It's a 6-point advantage on the put away.
Castillo really strong with those volleys up at the kitchen line. Almost no take back, just a nice stick volley, firm volley.
Missed return, Castillo in total control with a match point.
We'll get a timeout from Bates.
A good timeout here for Shelby Bates as Castillo not only with a match point, but with a cushion lead as well.
Good seeing you, man. Okay. Yes.
You hear the court mites picking up the conversation between Castillo and the crowd, and you get a
Yeah.
sense for
Talking
how
to
loose she is.
Eva Rechkowska down there and Glauca Carvajal Lane. Good friends of hers.
This quarterfinal in the bottom half of the bracket between Bates and Castillo.
Yeah, Sophia Sewing making it through.
The winner of this match will face Sewing in the semifinal. Had some early upsets. Sewing took down Amanda Hendry, who picked up the women's gold in singles back in Newport Beach. And she had really been coming on strong, had Hendry, towards the end of the 2024 schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back on serve, match point for Castillo.
Oh,
Castillo takes it with the backhand winner. She is through in straights to the semifinal. We'll hear from Castillo when we come back here at the Humana APP Fort Lauderdale Open.
Since I've been using Leo Rubber, I've had way less problem on my AT band and hips. If I had to describe it in a few words, I would say it's a must, it's effective, and it's stylish.
At AARP volunteer and community events, they'll keep Greg active, involved, and mischievous, and help make sure his happiness lives as long as he does. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
You're 0 for 15 against your daughter because of your toenail bruises and blisters. But she doesn't care because she's got the win. So what do? You get RTP socks. With small grip pads inside and out, your feet will be planted and pain-free. So the next time you can show her that her old man still got it. Nice shot.
And that would be a W for me.
Shouldn't have told you about those socks.
Yeah, that's what you get for holding out on me.
Double or nothing.
All right.
Road to Pro, official sock of the APP Tour. Looking for ways to keep active and mobile? Try Penetrex. Penetrex is different than other products with no greasiness, irritation, or unpleasant odors. Made with unique ingredients, it's 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Penetrex, the #1 online rated joint and muscle cream.
We'll take a look back at match point for Judith Castillo. Perfect two-hand backhand passing shot. She's moving on to the semifinal. Will take on Sophia Sowing. An excellent performance here from Castillo. She's courtside with Dorian Kraft for our Franklin post-match interview.
Judith, congratulations. You're moving on. We've got the music. There we go. Judith, congratulations. You're moving on to the women's singles semifinal. I want to take you back to game number 1. You took the timeout when you were trailing by 3. Mentally, what was the conversation that you were having with yourself?
Well, Shelby was playing very well. She was playing aggressive and taking her chances to come up to the net and putting pressure. So I had to change that a little bit. Just keep her back and try to find a way to get up to the net. So I had Glauca there, and she's like, you just gotta take your chance. Just keep the chance away from her. I'm like, okay, I'll try to do that, So that was the main thing, just trying to put a little bit more of pressure so I was taking the control of the net.
It looked like you were in total control in game number 2. What was the biggest adjustment that you made coming out in the second?
I think there were balls that they were a little bit short, and I was still hitting and coming back, to the baseline. So I just have to trust that approach. And if she passes me, she passes me. Just a great shot. But overall, the percentage is going to be higher if I put the pressure than if I stay back. So just taking those balls and coming forward, that was the key.
But Judith, congratulations. You're moving on to the women's singles semifinals. We'll have men's semifinals coming up next. Jack Foster, Grayson Golden right here on Championship Court.